Hello and welcome to Center for Victory's podcast of Your Best Day Yet. I'm Eric Guy, Chief Victory Officer here at the Center for Victory, where we're here to unlock, reinforce, and enrich relationships through personal and professional development. Today with me, a guest that many of you have seen and heard before, Mr. Caleb Cole. But good to have you on again, buddy. It's always good. Back. Yeah, it's always good. You can see we're actually a little ways away from our hometown of Pittsburgh. We're out in Whitefish, Montana here, and it's one of the reasons that I asked Caleb to do this, because of one of the things that we're trying to do right now that we've talked about is just having some adventure in life, but having that for other people. And we've been on several trips this year. We've gone to Japan. Yeah, right, we got to climb Mount Fuji. That was pretty crazy.
Grand Canyon,
that was really nuts because that was 120 degrees.
One day.
One day.
Just shy of 25 miles.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're here obviously to a little bit of fun. We needed to kind of get away, decompress, but also just to plan our next adventure. And I have many people asking. You have people asking. I have a lot of people asking. Actually, you heard the background of a conversation this morning with a company that wanted to know when our next adventure was, and what the details were. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. So and just to give people some information, it's not going to be the ones that we have aren't going to be the butt kickers of Fuji and the Grand Canyon, but we want to get away. The whole idea is that I've heard the quote, change a place, change a pace, change a perspective. And I just didn't want people to hear me talk about it. You've seen it. I mean, you've taken lots of different people on adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like you're like the master hiker. Caleb is a certified guide. That's why we want him on the trips, because I don't have that experience. I have the leadership experience. But the background here, Caleb, was obviously to get people out, to get leaders out. Anybody that wants to be better as a leader personally and professionally, to get them out, clear their headspace, and then talk about life, right? Talk about, just get a different perspective on things. Get away, get your thoughts collected, right? But what kind of things have you seen? Like, if you've seen a lot of people just get out. You know what it means for you. So let me just back up.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to get out into something like this? Like we're actually in, like I said, in Whitefish.
Yeah.
And we were in Glacier the past 2 days doing a couple hikes.
Yep.
Business going all around. What's it mean to you to just kind of get out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of experiencing it. When we talked about this trip, it was more of like, let's come out, and I put together this itinerary, and kind of had in our minds what we wanted to do. And so this trip initially was to do that, and really plan this and scope out what it would be. And it's kind of funny that the way things happened, and the amount of work and things that I've got going on, I didn't realize how much I needed to just be out here and have that time. I was able to come out a couple days early and do a 20-mile backpacking trip on Gunsight Pass in Glacier National Park, and it's almost like this is kind of like the medicine, it's healing a little bit. And I had a board member that I was talking to earlier just saying, be where your feet are, and being present with, where you're at. And I think, when we were talking about this, you asked, where would you want to go? And I was like, well, the most beautiful place I've ever been is Glacier National Park. And it was, Eric was just like, done. I'm like, cool, let's do it, man. So and so I think it's just so important to have that outlet. And so for myself, I know that those challenges, and not necessarily the butt kickers like rim to rim or Fuji or Kilimanjaro, but just being outside and putting yourself in kind of like a little bit of a challenging but just being in nature and experiencing that, there's so much value to that, and you know, and that's why we do with our clients for work is we offer 2 adventures, and they're not always butt kickers, but we do just getting outside, whether it's hiking, biking, rock climbing, and that's healing. I mean, it really is healing for people, and so that's, you know, that's why I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I just, you know, I can't get enough of it. I mean, this, you guys, this is this is about as cool as it gets. The lake is, you know, looking like glass right now, the mountains, so.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, you know, well, obviously we've been out here, so let me back up. Little off topic here. We've come out here to Whitefish, Montana, and being Pittsburgh, being Yinzers, they are all, we just seem to be running into them. I mean, we've had dinner, we've had breakfast this morning. We run in to people at breakfast. He's a chiropractor out here eating his wife. It's like, hey, like, and then you get that was the email that you just got a little bit ago.
From
that
Andy.
Yeah, that your brother was a strength coach in college.
Yeah,
which is crazy. And then other people give us some firewood. We go to collect the firewood. He's a Yinzer.
Yeah,
he's from Pittsburgh. You look over across the street from his house.
His neighbor's got a Steelers trailer. Yeah.
So
I cannot get over how small of a world it is that we've met. And then when we were walking after we got coffee.
Oh, that's right.
And there was that
they were from Greensburg.
Family from Greensburg. The little girl had a Pirates hat on, and so like, you know, Eric. If you know, obviously you know Eric, but you know, when we see somebody that like, oh, they have something Pittsburgh on, we're gonna stop and talk to them, and it just seems like such a small world. We've been out here not long, and we've met, you know, a handful of people from Pittsburgh.
Well, and I think that's healing too, Caleb. That was kind of my point, is like sitting there today. Do you remember the name? We wanted to give some shout out to the coffee shop. It was so good.
Oh,
Farmhouse.
Farmhouse, yeah.
Farmhouse. So Whitefish. You know, if you get a chance, the ladies at Farmhouse. What are you going to say?
The Locks Creek. The Locks Creek cheese.
Yeah. Ask for the salmon. She'll know what you're talking about. It's so amazingly good. They have bagels. You know, they call them locks. We had to ask what that meant, but it's, you know, it's salmon and cream cheese mixed together. It's delightful. They have we tried a couple things. You also had the
probably one of the best grilled cheese sandwiches I've ever had on sourdough bread. It was amazing.
But it was very healing in there just to sit down, and that's a credit to the people of this town. I mean, we have not met anybody that did not stop and talk to us, even on the trails that we've been talking to. You know, and they're not all from here, especially on the trail, but they just stop. And I think that's another testament. You need to get out. You need to be with people who you know you're a little bit closer to, or you're going to get closer to. I know some of the instances that we've gone out, you know, you watch, you know, leaders come together with their teams, but you know, there's also that opportunity for you to come together with other people when your mind stops racing so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the one morning, I mean, you were just like, well, you were in Eric mode. I was like, I was watching myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of pretty chill here. And
I wish you would have seen me the first morning that we got here. So I went to first thing we did is I went to the APGAR wilderness permit, you know, for backpacking. And so that opened up at 7:30, and so I get there like before 7, you know, stand in line, get my permit, and then first thing I do is go to Avalanche Lake. And I'm hiking, and I'm trying to take my own advice, like be where my feet are, like be present in this moment. Like I'm in the most beautiful place, and all I'm thinking about is all of the things I have to do back home. And my mind was racing, and it wasn't until I get to Avalanche Lake, and it's this beautiful glacial lake. Crystal waters, you can see. I mean, you can see.
Oh, you can hear the waterfalls off in the distance. You can hear them,
and it's just beautiful. And then all of a sudden, this bull moose comes out of the woods, and instantly, it just like delete on everything that's going on in my brain, and probably for 35, 40 minutes, I just watched this moose go into the water, cross the lake, go out the woods the other side, and it was just the most amazing experience. And it was probably the first, couple hours that I was even in the park.
Yeah, I mean, it was like even yesterday, we start the trail, a lot on our mind still, but the drive up was amazing.
And we're like, it's going to the Sun Highway, so you can Google that.
Yeah.
And Eric and I were just like looking up, and we're going so slow. I'm just pulling over, letting everybody pass us, because it was, you have to take it in.
Yeah, and there's already, it's only the 1st of October here, and there's already snow on the mountaintops. We had to walk through a little bit of snow yesterday, but it was just a gorgeous day. Like today, I mean, the sun came out for a little bit. We're down by the lake, and we bushwhacked a little bit, got to some waterfalls. And again, the whole hike is pretty relaxing, being outside, but then you sit there and then you take that all in, and you're looking out and you're seeing a lake that's miles and miles and miles away, and you're sitting on, and you're just this little speck.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, that's the perspective. It's like, just kind of breathe that on, and you start relaxing. You have the ability, on your watch, my watch, to look at your heart rate. I'm sitting there and it's like in the 50s.
Yeah.
It's just like, it slows down.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of people don't get that. You work. And, you need time, I call it, to get away, to revitalize, prioritize, and strategize. And that's what we're looking to do next year. And that's why I wanted to do this with you, because a lot of people have been asking, hey, look, when can we sign up for these things? What are you going to do? Can I bring my team? So we're going to go through that and give some people, kind of the itinerary of what we're going to do. But those are the kind of things that we'll be doing. Going on, we're obviously coming out here, working on the itinerary, coming out here to Whitefish next year, probably, that August, September. We'll have the dates locked in by the end of today. And, we're going to bring people out. We'll have, so whether you want to just be a better leader, just a better person, just all around, personally, professionally, we're going to go out and do some relatively easy hikes. We're going to take the Avalanche. It's going to be 5, 6, maybe 7 miles.
All day hikes.
Yeah, all day hikes. Get out and then come back, reconvene with one another, and go over, just certain things. Like I said, prioritize. What are some prioritizations that you need to make when you go back? Go over, some of the assessments that we do. So you'll be in charge during the day, and then, kind of hand the reins over to me at night. And we'll work with those folks on, just what their vision is for their family, their work, what are some of their goals, how do they prioritize those things, what's important, what's not important, which is what you get, a lot of clarity on.
Yeah, that is, if there's
here.
Anything that I've learned from this trip, there's so much clarity when you are, when you're doing this kind of stuff.
And I think it's good when you don't want to go home.
Yeah.
It's like even today, I know we're not leaving till tomorrow. It's like, I really don't want to go. Because I was asking you when we were walking around town this morning, I'm like, why didn't we leave Sunday?
Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't we? Because I would have said the same thing to you tomorrow.
Like,
why didn't we leave Monday? Why didn't we leave Tuesday?
I was telling Eric earlier, I think if my wife was out here with me and the dog, I think I might just go next door. Hey, you guys need any help stacking bricks or cutting wood? Like, I gotta stay longer. I'm not ready.
Well, that was the guy we met that gave us the firewood. He said, if you're going to do that, don't bring anybody out with you. Because he knows.
Yeah. He's like, they're going to move out here.
Yeah. He's like,
and it's so true, because it is, when I have now 3 friends that one by one, and started in 2002 was the first time I came out here. I was 12 years old, and we came out with Leo Wisniewski and his son Stefan, and Ted Peterson and his son Teddy and Garrett, and my dad and my brother and Tunch Ilkin and Tanner and Clay Ilkin, and so we all came out here, and it was so funny because we get home. Teddy Peterson had just graduated high school. Quit his job, put in his 2 weeks, and from after visiting for the first time,
Yeah, and he's been here ever since.
Put in his 2 weeks and moved right back out here. He's been here ever since. Fly fishing guide, did some whitewater guiding. So
Yeah, and probably will be doing some of the guides for us when we come back out. He and his brother, but and again, it's just I think they appreciate that coming together. Right? You know, he's asking, he hooked us up with all kind of things. He's told us where to go to eat. We were just gonna meet him for a little bite the other night.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have a lot of time. Yeah. I have to go over to Joe's, Thursday night football or whatever. And, next thing you know, it's 2.5 hours later and we're still sitting at Piggyback at the barbecue place.
We need to give them a shout out too. So Piggyback Barbecue.
And Will.
Will, you are the man for sure. We saw you at Oktoberfest the next day because you invited us there too. Thanks for hooking us up both nights. Great, fantastic barbecue. I didn't really eat a lot though. But I mean, it gets back to the relationship. It's all about connection, right?
Yeah.
And you get out here, you get connected to nature, you get connected to each other, to the people that you love around, and just all that stress melts away. And you need that. You really need that perspective. You need to just sit back, and we refer to them. It's just a kind of a clarity break. You need to get clarity, and that's what it is. Everybody's running. That leader that had a call. I caught a call with this morning before we went out. They were talking to me, and they just said, "Look, I feel like I need to get away right now."
Yeah.
And it's because it's just run. It's 24/7. We experience it. We've already just shared those stories, and we want to help people not just live to work, but work to live. I mean, and you have a lot of that culture out here where it's like, hey, look, the gentleman we talked to today. He and his wife have a practice. They have both docs, and they're like, "Hey, we only work 3 or 4 days a week, and then we're out."
We work. The office is open 3 days a week,
and they work hard.
Yep.
But they play hard. I mean, and you get out into nature, and they didn't look like they didn't come in the coffee shop like.
No.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah.
I think they had just gone golfing, getting coffee together.
Yeah. They're getting breakfast and coffee after they played around the golf.
Yeah. And so that was pretty good. So it's all about having that connection, looking to really get back to kind of who we are, decompress. But for other people, what have you seen when you've taken like other leaders?
Well, we've done a lot of different trips, and I've been really, my wife and I are really blessed. We have the opportunity to guide for a great company called K2 Adventure Travel, and they have a great nonprofit, K2 Adventure Foundation. And through that, we've been able to bring clients of ours, but also leaders. We just had a group, the company's called the Pavement Group, Brian Hess, who's just an amazing, what he's built at the Pavement Group and the team that he's put together. And Eric, you got to be part of that.
Got to do the whole canyon with him.
They did the whole canyon, and they did it as a fundraiser for our nonprofit, and just the team building, the camaraderie that they've gone through, and Brian has his own podcast, the Brian Hess Show, and so I've watched all the episodes. Like I watch your podcast, I watch their podcast, and he had all of his team on, and just every one of them, the how much they've developed and just come together as a team. But just, from a leadership perspective, I think there's just so much that you can gain from these things. And I've seen it in the past too with leaders that go on these trips, and just the development that you get from that, and the camaraderie, and it's amazing.
Well, I think it's the biggest thing. It's like, because not everybody's looking for, if we're just talking like work-wise, not everybody's looking for another, if we say everybody's looking for another raise or just more money.
Right.
And, it's more so what we're trying to put together, what we're going to put together for next year is not just have the adventure, but look at your mission, look at your purpose, and where do those collide, and get alignment around that.
Right.
What was cool about seeing those guys well, the whole thing was cool because I met the whole gang, and my wife was with me. She got to meet them, so I didn't have to retell the stories. And
Yeah.
but what was cool about that is, as Brian's coming out with us at night, some of his staff that completed earlier waited up for him.
Yeah.
Not only that, they cheered when we got out of the van.
We got out of the van, they're cheering, hooting and hollering.
And it's what, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was late. I mean, it was dark. And they maybe finished it, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And they came out and.
So that was really cool. I mean, that kind of engagement, and you could tell that, that's a kind of leader that cares about his people and
build a great culture and got the right people on board that are just.
They were all fantastic, all of them,
for each other too.
Yeah.
And so how can they not be successful? You know what I mean? It's.
Yeah. And they give back a lot. That's the other thing. I mean, this company hasn't been around that long, time-wise. And
their goal is to raise $50,000
Yeah.
For our nonprofit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we've talked about this for so long, and then we start doing these things, and every time it just reinforces like there needs to be more of this. We need to be doing more of this and offering this opportunity for people that
absolutely
wouldn't necessarily do this or have the opportunity, not necessarily the opportunity, but I'd love to do that, but I have no idea how to. I don't even know what that looks like. How do I plan that? How do I do that? What do I need? What are the packing lists? What's the itinerary? How do I plan this hike?
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. We're going to take care of it next year.
We got you.
Yeah, we got you.
We got you.
I mean, I hope that helps, and people understand. We've had a lot of people already, and I've put nothing out about it. It's just word of mouth, talking to people, and it's almost funny. It's like I've got like some kind of secret because I'm getting calls from people like, when is that happening? When is that happening? Sign me up now. What do I? Yeah, like I had one guy try to offer me a down payment the other day. I'm like, I don't even have the itinerary.
Right.
It's not on our website.
We're still doing our.
And I haven't been out here yet. I'm like, he's like, well, let me just write you a check. I'm like, yeah, just wait a second. So, and I'd appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that. So, next year we'll have probably a team of 10 or 12 people come out. If you're interested, shoot me an email, eric@centerforvictory.com, or give us a call. You can go to centerforvictory.com. It's not going to be up yet, probably by the time this podcast, but it will be on our website. More information will be out about it.
You giving a sneak peek, like you talking about?
Oh no, not yet.
Okay,
no,
right.
Not yet, because I'm not ready for that yet.
Gets
either.
me
But
fired up.
Yeah. So that'll be good too. But that'll just be for
Got some
the Pittsburgh
some surprises in store for people too. It's gonna be awesome.
So, any last tips if people were thinking about this? Or like, what's the big why? Like, why do you do this? Why do you do it often?
Man, I got a couple. So let me tell you this, because I was out here early and I was hiking with my buddy Ian, and we did this side trail, and it was funny because we were kind of tired, and we're like, you know what, let's just do it, and we did it, and it just led to this beautiful waterfall. I mean, it went into this crystal, pool, and we're like, man, I'm so glad we took that opportunity. We're tired. We didn't want to go hike more, but we wanted to check it out, and it was worth it. And so that was one, is like, take the opportunity. Like when these opportunities present themselves, man, it's worth it to do that. But two, I think, wherever you're at, whether it's, if you're a business leader or business owner and you are, you're grind. Like, for me, I need, like for me, it's like every quarter I got to do. I got to be out in the woods and do something. I need that to be able to go home and grind. And if you're an employee, or even, for our clients, like we do this with our veterans and first responders, and specifically those that are suffering, you know, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and we've had clients that were suicidal, and we went, you know, on the Grand Canyon rim to rim trip, and afterwards, I mean, they have, you know, not somebody that was normally talking in groups was uncomfortable doing that, and you know, spoke to the whole group and shared what they were going through previously, and you know, mentally, and how they were struggling and just challenges like this, and being supported, and you know, how that's changed their outlook on life. And so and I love that, and that's why I guide. Like, I love to see, you know, that's what we tell people, you know, the person that goes up the mountain and the person that comes down the mountain are two different people. And it's, you need to do that, to put yourself through that. And that's why we put this together, is, you know, we're going to take care, you know, my job is to keep you safe. I'm going to take care of you, and Eric's job is to grow you. And so that's, you know, that's my why, and I'm passionate about this. I love this. I hope I can guide until, you know, until my feet or knees, you know, don't let me.
Mine have actually gotten better with all
this.
That's
right.
I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, so I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully you have more questions. That was what the intention was. But just to give you a little snapshot into what we're going to be doing in 2024. Caleb will be with me if you want to mark it in your calendar. January 20th, we will be having our Vision Day. Caleb will be spending some time on stage with me, talking about this again as we cast vision for our families and our companies. You know, that'll be back in the Pittsburgh area. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. Hope you enjoyed this. You know, as always, like, look us up, centerforvictory.com. If you have questions, give us a ring. But just remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, make this your best day yet. We'll see you soon.